This video is about sex and the ESC and the semi-finals, meaning biological sex, not sexiness. In the Eurovision universe, the time has come for the season of semi-final allocation draws. That's why in this video we want to share some surprising findings about sex in the semi-finals that we found while researching sex in the ESC in general. Of course, when looking at sex in the Eurovision Song Contest, we also looked at the semi-final qualifications. We expected to find something in regard to televote and juries, or maybe a changing pattern from the early semi-final years to the more recent ones. And while there might be a bit of that, which we will come to later, just a little bit, you know what I'm looking for. We also found a strong pattern regarding sex in the first or second semi-final, which we had not expected at all. The chances to qualify for female acts are much higher in the first semi-final. This sounds illogical,
but nevertheless,
it's what the data says.
So first let's take a look at the raw numbers and then discuss a possible explanation. If you want to skip forward to the discussion, you can do so by using the timestamps.
But now, here we go. Some numbers for the Eurovision nerds. This video is about semi-finals. In Eurovision, the semi-final was introduced in 2004. Back then, it was only one semi-final, but it soon grew too large, and so we have two of them ever since 2008. From all years with two semi-finals, you have a qualification rate of something between 52 and 64%, because usually more than half of the semi-finalists qualify.
You would expect similar rates for female and male acts from all semis.
And if you look at both semis at once, that is indeed what you get. Overall qualification rate is 58%.
Female qualification rate is around 57%.
Male qualification rate is nearly 62%. And the qualification rate of mixed acts is 57%. So these numbers are all pretty close to the average overall rate. We only see male acts having a slight advantage, but that's nearly small enough to be within a margin of error here. Yet, if we now divide the two semis, the trend that females are more likely to qualify from the first one and males have a better chance from the second becomes very visible. Males drop slightly below the average in the first semi and climb to 66%, 8% above the average in the second one.
Meanwhile, females reach 7% above the average in the first semi, but go down to 8% below average in the second one.
This is a pretty strong difference between the two semis. Side note, the numbers for the mixed acts are difficult, because the sample just gets too small to make reasonable statistics work. In many years, there's only one mixed act, and there are semis with no mixed act at all, so the numbers are not really comparable and the math just doesn't work.
We will therefore leave them out for the rest of the video.
We will now look at the male and female qualification rates in every single year. First, this is the average qualification rate of each year, depending on how many acts compete in the semi-finals.
Then let's add the female numbers from semi 1, which are above and around the average.
And the male numbers from semi 1, which are also all rather close to the average.
Now the second semi, first the female numbers. And here you see them drop below the average a lot more, sometimes less than half of the average.
And finally, we add the male qualification rates from semi-final 2, and we can see a bubble forming clearly above the average around 2015.
In general, we can see that the effect is strongest around 2016.
While the years with the televote semis, 2023 to 25, have the smallest such effect.
This difference brings us directly to the discussion of the possible reasons.
Give me one good reason, and I will give you two.
So why do we see this effect of females qualifying more from the first semi-final? Why is it? Maybe we can understand the effect by looking at another genre, the film industry. We can compare the qualification process in the Eurovision Song Contest to the casting for a movie. And then the question is, which roles are available at all? In many movies, you have roles such as smart man, strong man, quick man, evil man, and one woman. Of course, this extreme example means more men making it through the casting rounds than females, because there is only one role available for all the applying females.
Do we have a similar phenomenon of available roles within the Eurovision?
Could it be that sexist stereotypes define which roles can be played by male or female acts, leaving less options for the female acts?
Sure, some parts are open to everyone.
In Eurovision, all kinds of artists can play the part of the big emotional ballad.
The folky ethnic song.
The danceable bop.
The Eurobeat hit.
Or the grandiose popera. And of course, playing the drums is open to all sexes and ages too.
Drums! There has to be drums! It doesn't hurt if the drums are played by gorgeous, topless men. It's proven very efficient throughout the years. But please feel free to try other alternatives. It's proven very helpful to go the exact opposite way. Use a grandmother.
Some of these roles promise more success for male or female acts, yet they do exist in all shades of genders and sex. On the other hand, there are some roles which are almost exclusively male, or at best a male group with one single added female. For example, the rock band. We already discussed in our first video about sex and the ESC that there are very few female groups in Eurovision at all, and this is especially true in the rock genre. The same goes for the novelty act.
The funny and quirky songs. These are almost exclusively male.
Maybe you could name Sylvia Knight the one exception here, but she did not qualify.
We also rarely see the singer-songwriter type with a female artist succeed, but it is a popular genre for male acts.
And the queer champion of the year part also most often falls to a male act. Sure, we had some lesbian or female bisexual acts, but they do not get the same queer hero treatment.
And a lot of them don't qualify at all.
Now, these sexist stereotypes are of course not limited to Eurovision. They exist in the whole music industry. But we think they might be an explanation for more female acts qualifying from the first semi-final. Maybe because the few female roles get assigned to the best act of that kind from the first semi, and then, even if there is such an artist in the second semi, they don't get through because we already have someone for that role. Male artists are allowed to play a larger number of roles. So for male artists, the chance is higher that in the second semi their role is not yet taken by somebody else. That the effect is the strongest in the years with the juries and less pronounced in televote-only years strengthens this theory. Televoters don't care for the big picture. They might not even know who is already qualified from the first semi when they vote in the second one. Juries, on the other hand, can and probably do compare acts from the second semi to acts from the first one. Also, given that a lot of them are producers themselves, they might also think about the overall mix we will get in the final. And that is why juries, more than televote, could tend to think, nah, we already have someone for that role. We don't need a second one. We think this role casting analysis explains the effect of females more often qualifying from the first semi-final well.
But what do you think about it?
Did we overlook something? Is there a different reason? Let us know in the comments. And also, of course, please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell to assign yourself to the role of our follower. It is open and equal for all genders and sexes. See you soon with more content about the new Eurovision season.
Goodbye.